And away we go.
And away we go. I put those dang chats up there while the intro's playing. I don't know if they showed or if it's just us looking at it. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, they should. They should, because that's broadcasting. So.
Yeah. So right now, it looks like we got Derek's here, and Kelly's here, and Gideon's here.
Nice.
Oh, hi. Well, my screen says we got 8, so there's lurkers.
Oh, and Operation
Shutdown is here.
Yep. Hey, Operation Shutdown.
It's funny because my screen is so small because I'm on my phone that once I click on it, I can't read it anymore. So I don't know. I don't know what they're saying when I put it on the screen. I'm just guessing.
Off Grid Arcade is on the grid tonight.
I am.
He's away from home, and he's on a trip, but he dedicated himself to show up tonight. He managed to get the conference room at the place he's staying, so that worked out pretty good.
Yep. It helps. I got connections. I got the inside line because we're staying at a Holiday Inn.
Oh, nice. It comes up on the bill. Conference room usage $10,000.
Yeah. Yeah. Here we go. Operation Shutdown says, "Welcome on Grid Arcade." See if you put your chats short enough, I can memorize it. If he would have put a whole sentence, I would have not known what he said when I put it up there. Yeah. So, how you guys been this week? I've been off. I've been way off the grid because I've been at that campground and I had to walk a half a mile just to get a signal, and then I'd get part of your chats and I'd see Mike says, "Hey, those are pretty cool gifts, Poe." And then 2 days later, I got a message from Poe that said, "Hey, look at this gift my daughter got me."
Is that Cracked Magazine I was talking before you guys came on to Bart? Isn't that a direct descendant of Mad Magazine?
Yes. I loved both of them as a kid. I started with Mad, but then I discovered Cracked. So when I had my paper out, I was just, anytime we went to Kmart or whatever, I was buying issues of those when I was a kid.
Well, I've got one that's in the other room that I want to bring and share tonight since you're talking about that, because I went to I liked Mad Magazine. There's 2 magazines I got when I was a kid. One was Mad Magazine, and I found the Travis Kelce and what's her name? God, I'm having a terrible night tonight. All right, I'll tell you what happened. I had a terrible dream last night. Okay, terrible dream. I dreamt that I drank the world's largest margarita. And I just got up in bed and I said, "What the Taylor Swift?" That's right. Thank you. I guess it features Taylor Swift. Anyway, I woke up the minute I got done with this dream. And I thought, wow, that was weird. And I went in to take a leak. I pulled up the seat and the lid and everything, and I looked down, and the rim of the toilet was covered in salt.
Did you lick it?
No, but thank God I didn't eat the worm.
The captain's log?
My dad used to call it a saw log. Who left the saw log? That was me. It was a masterpiece. I wanted everybody to appreciate it.
Are you the ones that are really long? I call those tube snakes.
I can remember stuff that happened 2 or 3 years ago, but I can't remember something. It's like, whoever said, "Thank you." At least they saved my Operation Shutdown. Thank you. Good.
Just yesterday I was talking to our son Philip, and he was asking me what our show is about, and here we are talking about the logs, and I told him, I said, "You never know what this show is going to be about." See, now Mike's Gaming Gala, he typed a whole big old paragraph on there. I can't read any of it now because once I click on it, it covers it on the side.
Oh, he pointed out last week you guys put episode 65, and we were actually on 67.
Yeah. Oh,
so we're on 68 tonight. I'm guessing all of them say 66.
Yeah. Well, that's on me. I'm the one that sets that up. So.
Yeah, I had to go and edit mine and change it.
Because next week is 69.
Nice.
I said there was 2 magazines, so I'll tell you what the other one was. It's called the Furry Freak Brothers. Probably nobody's ever heard of that one. That was
That came in the brown bag, huh?
Yeah, they were
It's a
hippies.
no label.
It was a flower power tie-dyed, 70s kind of magazine that was you could never find. It was there and then it went away. Obviously, like a lot. And then I went to this magazine shop one day and I said, "You got Mad Magazine, the one with Travis Kelce and whatever her name was, Taylor Swift?" And they said, "Yeah." And then I said, "You wouldn't have a Furry Freak Brothers?" "Yeah, got one over here." Wow, hit double with what I asked for. So I bought them.
I got in trouble one time, kind of in trouble when I was a kid. There was another store called Fisher's Big Wheel. And when we went there, I would go to the magazine rack and read Mad magazines and stuff. And there was right next to the magazine rack, there was a stairway that went up to like a manager's office. It was carpeted and everything. This was early 80s. So I grabbed that Mad magazine and I look up and there's the Playboys and the Hustlers and stuff. And back then they didn't have the plastic wrap on them. That wasn't until later. So I shoved one of the nudie magazines inside the Mad magazine. I'm making sure the parents aren't coming in the one direction. I'm like, I'm going to sit down on the stairs. Well, the manager came down the stairs right behind me. I had his hand on my shoulder, and he's like, "Go outside." I'm like, "Oh man, my parents, they're going to want to know why I'm outside." And but they never said anything. I went out to the lobby where they had video games and just kind of stayed out there. So, and I got busted at the Walden Books doing the same thing. I'm looking at it. My brothers are in there looking at stuff, and I'm looking at a nudie magazine, and the woman saw me. She's like, "Get out!" So I go out in the hallway, and I find my parents at another store, and they're like, "Come on, let's go up to Walden Books and get your brothers." I'm like, "Oh, no." And luckily, I kind of hid behind Dad. The woman didn't see me again. I thought for sure she was going to say, "Get that little pervert out of here."
Nice. Yeah. Now, Philip must have heard me talking about him. He jumped in on watching the show and asked what's the show about? Yeah, it's about 6 different things already.
Turds, Mad Magazine, Crack Magazine, Hustler, Playboy,
And Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
Man, we played some video games this week. I forgot to write down the scores for my pinball thing, so I should have done that.
Poe did that a long time ago. I think it was like 2018.
I got the scores from the big tournament. I got the scores from my little tournament I set up after yours, and I got the scores for your tournament. So I got them all. So.
Excellent.
Derek asked about this. Derek said in the chat, I remember saw he said, "What's the name of it?" That's a copy of it. You see, they're just more of a hippie magazine.
Oh. Yeah, I was thinking that was like, like you were into furries, that type of thing.
Yeah, I was afraid to ask. I was just trying to move the show along. I tried to distract by going to Playboy and Hustler, and then it somehow ended up back here anyway.
Back in the 70s, they all over Kansas City, they didn't, marijuana wasn't legal, but they had head shops. And when you were a teenager, you could go in there. You didn't have to be a certain age, but they had pipes and stuff, and then they had this magazine. And then just real quick, I'll show you. This is the one with.
Oh yeah.
Yes, Taylor Swift again.
And he didn't want that much for this Freak Brothers, but I'll tell you what, this thing's I forget what the list. Oh, it's $6 is the list price, and I said, "Oh, okay, $6." He says, "No, it's 20." I said, "Why?" And he says, "Because you can't find another one in Kansas City." Okay, you're right.
So my dad had a story. Him and his cousin were in the same class together, junior high school, and they were always pranking and everything. And they had this new teacher. He said she was barely older than them, brand new out of college teacher. And they took the seating roster or whatever, and they wrote down Alfred Newman for Alfred E. Newman, since Mad Magazine was big at the time. And she had no clue. And he said she's standing there going through the names. She's like, Alfred Newman, oh, and she starts screaming, Alfred Newman, where are you at? And everybody's just laughing. And of course, Dad's on his way to the principal's office yet again. But he always waited to tell us these stories after the fact. He didn't tell us this stuff when we were kids. You know, we were always little jerks for the stuff we did, but then we find out what Dad did. Like,
I put down Ferris Bueller, Ferris Bueller.
Well, we had a paper. Somebody was trying to. I can't remember what it was. We were leaving the one tech school. We were getting ready to graduate our class to go to our next tech school. And these guys, they had a petition. Like, that matters in the military. You could tell how dumb these guys were. They were going to be there for a while. We don't like the way this is done. Will you guys sign our petition? All right. We fill it out. Man, my buddy's at the table, and we hand it back, and they walk off. And I told them, I signed it, Phil McCracken. And my buddy started laughing. He's like, I put Phil McCrack. So all of us put like fake names on the thing for the kid.
Oh, that's funny. Chaos is in the house.
Yeah. Fat boy
Salty's
salty.
here. Chachi Fonzarelli.
That wasn't Chachi's last name. It was Arcola. Scott Baio fan.
Yes. That is true. That is true.
Well, since it was brought up, you know, Poe did set up a little side challenge. There's your scores, Poe.
Oh. Yeah,
Pixel
as small as it is here, it looks like I won.
Yeah. No, not. Pixeltorium 10 million, Off Grid 4 million, Postile 3 million, Biolumin Kojak.
That's T-Dog.
2,500,000. I finished last in 1,200,000. So
Mike's score wasn't on there, so he left the show. He's like, I'm out. I didn't
And
play
I do
that
like Funhouse, but I could never get that skill shot on FX. FX3, I had it down, you know, how far to pull the plunger or whatever. I could not get it at all. So wherever the sweet spot was with the Switch controller compared to the PS5 controller.
I was talking about pulling his plunger. Are we back to the nudie books?
you know,
Putting balls in the mouth.
after years ended, I thought, you know, we had the main tournament going, but I thought I'd start one, and I wanted to. I'll give you my opinions here in a minute, but I wanted to do something with the Switch again, and so I set up one with Pinball FX3, and I didn't get a capture to put on here, so I'm looking for it now. But the score was
I forgot to play that one. I wanted to play that.
Yeah, you set that one up for like 3 days while I'm out of town.
When it was on the Switch, I figured you guys had your Switch.
No, we didn't bring the Switch because we were going to be out in the middle of nowhere where we had no signal.
Well, long story short, it's that Biolumin took first.
T-Dog.
Huh?
Biolumin, that's T-Dog.
Oh, T-Dog. Okay, well, he got 8 million. Well, 8 billion. Derek had 6 billion. I had 3 billion. I had the lead there for quite a while, and Derek just stepped up and blew us away, and then T-Dog came in there with a great score. But since we're talking pinball, I'm just going to say that's one thing I miss about. We used FX, Pinball FX, for this last big tournament. And I don't know, I just want to go over and strangle somebody at Zen for not letting you. I want to be able to play on the Switch. And I don't care if it's not as good as the others, if that's what they say. I still want to compete with my Switch if I can. And I can't do it.
Right.
So, you know, so that's why I set that one up, just more because I wanted to play that. Which, Bart, you pointed out something the other day. I think, did you have that on your channel? There's certain games that are going to be done being produced on FX3. So if you want them, it's the
Oh, yeah.
Balls of Glory.
Pack. Yeah. Yeah, that pack. It's at the end of this month, I think they're going to no longer sell it. So if you have it, you can still play it. But if you don't buy it before it goes off, yeah, it was a Balls of Glory.
It's Archer, Family Guy, and American Dad. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you don't have that pack, you need to get it before the whatever day it is. But It's later this month, and then it's going to come off the sales. Which I'm guessing this is just the first one. Eventually they're all going to come down. So you might want to start stocking up that library next time they have a big sale. If you want FX3 tables, I'd be buying them when they go on sale. If you don't have them already, I have everything on it already, so I don't care.
It's kind of like FX2. FX2 had some great tables that they finally came out with on FX. Some of them skipped FX3.
Right.
Which they were, but the
Right.
only thing you do in gaming is, aside from that, is I thought it was kind of cool. But I know you guys are PlayStation guys, but are really getting into this Xbox Game Pass thing. But there's two things happening with that. They're raising their price from $16 or $17 a month to $20 a month. But they're telling you, if you can go to Sam's Club and you can buy that $16 a month one for almost like $13 a month. You get 3 months for like $45. And you can stack those up to 3 years worth. So if you're a Game Pass member, if you're watching, that's something to think about, is getting those bought. And also Crash Bandicoot became made available on the 8th of this month on the Xbox Game Pass. So if you got the Game Pass, you can just play it all you want on that. So kind of cool. I thought, have you guys played Crash Bandicoot? I don't even know where it originated from. It's an old title, but I had fun playing it.
Yeah, it was PS1. For a while, he was kind of their mascot
Oh,
for
okay.
PlayStation.
So you guys are familiar with the PlayStation. Mike,
Yeah.
you're an Xbox guy. Do you got that pass?
No, not for Xbox. I only
Oh, okay.
get for the I only do the online stuff since I play Call of Duty, but not to try out their games. Nope.
Right. Yeah, but do you still have to have some type of membership to play online?
Yeah, I think you do.
Yeah.
Just you need the basic, which I pay every year. So, yeah, I just did it for PlayStation recently. So I just did the 3 months. I usually pay the yearly subscription. That's like about $86, I believe. But back in the day, it used to be, what kills me, it used to be $49 for a
Right.
whole year. And
We would wait until Black Friday. They would have the gift cards there marked down in price for PlayStation. So my brother, my friend, and I would buy them on Black Friday and then pay for our yearly subscriptions with that.
Yep.
Yeah, see, I even Nintendo Switch, you got to have a certain membership to play online against each other. I mean, they're all going to that online thing. But I just got a bill the other day. I haven't even turned on my At Games Legends in so long, and on my statement I see they charged me for another 6 months for 90 some bucks. I think I'm gonna drop that one. You do anything with that, Bart, with the At Games?
No, I never did the subscription with the At Games, but I haven't turned it on either in so long, because the only thing I ever did on there was play those, like the Grinch pinball, and so I didn't see a need. I had everything else, at other places, so I didn't do it. Let's
Why
see.
not?
Gideon's saying, I can't tell what Gideon's saying because now I clicked on it. $49 for a year PS Plus. Over here, it was never that. Lowest we got is $65.49 for a year.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Derek says that games thing not really worth it.
Yeah, the only thing I liked about, I think I can get a cheaper one though that allows me to do this. There's something about me being able to play all the games on. See, I got 3 different At Games products, and I think you have to have a membership, but I don't think it's this high dollar one. I think there's a cheaper one I can get.
Yeah, like I said, I never even looked into it. Well, I take that back. When I first got the At Games product, I did look into it to see what it was, and then I immediately said, "No, it's not for me." But now I see they've released some more pinball tables not that long ago, and I didn't even, because I haven't even plugged it in so long.
Yeah.
Now, if I do end up building a bigger arcade room, I might set it back up because I just don't have the space right now. But did we have someone show up?
Well, this is a nice little segue into this, because I was just getting ready to talk about the ACT game. We were talking about ACT games and the different products. And if y'all watch Digital Victory, he just got the ACT games 4K.
Oh,
And he did a video on it a little more than 2 weeks ago, or a little more than a week ago. And I don't know. So with that being said, where'd my mouse go? I got 3 screens and I don't know where the hell I'm at. There he is.
hey,
Hey, there he is.
Hey.
What's up, guys? Mike, good to see you.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Oh, thanks.
You came in at the
YouTube
proper
profile.
hey, thank you.
you came in at the proper time, Ed, because we were just talking about subscription services. And I was telling the guys that I just got billed for my $90-some for my. It's only good for 6 months for my ACT games, which my Xbox thing's cheaper than that to play all those games. So
Yeah,
what
that's a
I'm
little much.
So what I was going to ask is, I play on multiple devices. You only play on the pinball machine, right?
Correct. I do have a Legends arcade, but it's old school, and all I do is play coin ops on it. I don't do any other subscription services at all.
Well, see, I got 3 devices. I got the mini, the gamer, and then the ultimate. And I started paying for that so I could play them across all platforms. But I was telling these guys, I haven't turned the ultimate on in 6 months. I don't know why I'm paying $90 for 6 months subscription to something when I haven't turned it on in 6 months.
Yeah, but you throw $10 in the street, Greg. That's nothing for you. That's
But I mean, isn't there some way? Well, maybe you don't know. I think there's some way you can still play. You can still have a membership, just not that expensive one, to play those across platform. But I don't know. I'm gonna have to research.
Yeah,
I'll have to
I've
talk
never
to
been part of that. I've never done any of the. Gosh, I don't even remember what it's called. The Legends Access or Legends Net or whatever it is. I've never done any of that.
Arcade Net. Well,
Arcade
thanks,
Net, yeah. Okay.
thanks for coming on, Ed. You've been a lot of use to our information for us, and I appreciate you stopping by.
Oh, thanks for the invite. Have a good night.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Derek actually wants to maybe hear Ed talk about. I don't even know. Some 4K thing. What's that all about?
Yeah, that's what I was wanting Ed to talk about. Let's hear a little bit about your machine, your new machine. It looks great.
I saw your comment there, Derek, and I haven't had time to respond yet. It's awesome. I love it. It's night and day difference. The difference between the HD pinball and the 4K pinball are so vast that it's hard to describe without sounding like a total fanboy. The size of the back glass is just, it's literally from edge to edge. No longer it's just that little screen that you had before. Hey, D-Kong. And the SSF kit that's built into it, which also works in OTG, which I really appreciate and I dig, is also a game changer when playing pinball. And when you're hitting the top pop bumpers on the right, the sound is coming from the top right, and it has a built-in subwoofer. All the sounds come from the correct directions, and it's, like I said, it's a game changer. The quality of the displays is very high as well.
But I'm liking the fact that you didn't have to buy a Vibs board. You showed in your video that you had HDMI 1, 2, and 3 inputs in the back, if I remember right. And I'm really excited about what you're talking about, this thing where you'll be able to plug a USB drive in there and load some games somehow on there.
That is a real thing. That's coming.
Yeah.
I've seen, I don't know if you watched P-Dubs. He had a whole show about it, and he called me ahead of time, and he said, hey, you may want to, and this was ironically enough, and I admit played some part in pulling the trigger to get the 4K. He said, you may want to consider getting that 4K now. And this was about 3 weeks before I got it, or a month before I got it, because I've heard that the VPX functionality is going to be available on a USB drive. And I was like, wait, what? And he described it as something about the loader system, and that it's got a powerful enough hardware to do it, as long as the tables aren't crazy complicated. So we had a stream about it, and I watched the stream, and I apologize for the person that he was talking to on the stream that was basically the brains behind it all and running it, showing the demo, but I don't remember his name. But he did show it in action with a USB. Even some tables with pup packs worked.
Wow.
It was nuts. I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
He did say there was some tables that are too complicated for it to this point, but maybe that'll change. I don't know. And I don't know what that cutoff is. I don't know what is it just because it's 4K and it has, a pup pack in addition to that. I don't know. But he did show enough of it to show that it does work. So they're doing a closed beta right now with a lot of folks, and I didn't think to participate because then when I watched it at the time, I didn't have the 4K yet, but I would have liked to have been part of that looking back, hindsight. They're trying to get it specifically dialed in, which tables work, which ones won't, what's the difference in the tables, and why certain ones will and won't work. I'm real excited about it, and I think that'll sell a ton of the 4K machines for at games.
Yeah, that's amazing. That is. Hey, I don't want to derail this, and Ed, you're here.
Do I have something hanging out of my nose?
No. I just noticed both D-Kong and Classic Rock are here, and they were our finalists. So I don't know if we want to quick squeeze that in while they're here and talk about the finals of the tournament, because sometimes it's tough to get the two finalists in. So, Greg, you want to talk about talk about the tournament?
Yeah, and then stick around there because I want to go back to that. I got a ton of questions for you on that thing. But anyway, yeah, we had the one ball, one try. They had 5 days to complete it. And I forget who jumped in first. I think it was Classic Rock King, but I don't want to say for sure. But I do have the scores right here. So drum roll, please. It's coming up on your screen. D-Kong 52. 15,494,617. Classic Rock King. I mean, now remember, this is one ball, one try. That $8,398,000 is 398 points. It's not anything to sneeze at.
Right.
Man, so I'm telling you, terrific competitors there. Terrific game. So
fantastic.
D-Kong, you have to get with me on the Discord. Send me a private message with your address and what name you want on your trophy, because I know you're D-Kong here and your T-Dog somewhere else, I think. So I need to know those two things: where to mail the trophy to, and what name you want on the trophy. So congratulations. Great job, great competitors, good sports. Everybody's been a good sport.
And I just want to throw this in, D-Kong, as a first ever time that this has happened. As a side bonus, besides getting that trophy, you also get to ask a direct question to Digital Victory about his 4K, right on the spot.
Do I notice the flipper lag with the Zen tables? And I also saw that one. It's been a busy afternoon. I haven't responded to you or Derek. Yeah, you do notice the built-in attack from Mars table. That is the most laggy of any of the tables on the machine, and that's supposedly native to it. It's built in. It's got an attack from Mars design, yet that has the most lag, and that sucks. I wish it didn't. But
that's kind of ironic, huh? The table you got.
Yeah, and I've heard the exact same thing about Adam's family and the others that are Zen tables, and it has to do with the fact that they're using the real engine. Again, I talk about this tech stuff from what I hear, but I don't know from tech, so don't ask detailed questions about that. But it is because of the engine they use to run it, and they don't have it optimized. Either they don't have it optimized, or it's not possible on the hardware that's within the 4K system. So that said, on my video, you saw me playing Attack from Mars. I blew up the saucer. I hit what I aim at, most of the time, no different than my OTG ones. You just have to get used to it. And someone described in a recent comment on my video that was deriding the 4K and the lag. They said it's a no-go for him because when he brings people over, they do it and the lag is there and they're like, I don't want to play this, and they stop playing. And that does suck. But I think a little patience and there is a little lag, Bob, by the way. If you just play a few balls, you'll get used to it. And then Bob will get used to it, and it's no big deal. And my sister's been over, and my son and his my step grandson, they all get used to it. It's there, but it's dealable. And regular OTG, no, there's no particular lag any different than there was on the HD for me. I play OTG like it's no lag at all. But I'm sure there is some sort of lag built in.
And I've always said that because people will talk about flipper lag in every version. When FX first came out and Pinball M, everyone's talking about the flipper lag stuff. And it's like, you kind of get this stuff with real pinball machines too. You go into if it's not tuned properly, you might play a real life Attack from Mars at one arcade and then go to another one and you're like, this plays different. The flippers are weaker. The solenoids aren't as good.
Great point.
There's all kinds of stuff that's different from table to table to table, and you get used to it. You play it, you get used to it, and you get better.
You're 100% right, because they use those I forget what they call them, leaf switches on those things. As a matter of fact, the guy was showing me in a tournament. They had those local tournaments here, the place you and I went to, Bart, here in Kansas City. Mm-hmm. And the guy showed me on one machine how you could do a soft, how you do a soft plunge, you could do a soft hit. In other words, he knew how to hit that button where instead of giving it a full slap of the ball, it just tapped it. And it was described to me that it was the lag in the table that allowed him to do that. And I couldn't do it, but every time he'd get up there, he got that finger on there just right and tapped that. And I said, how the hell are you doing that? And he tried to describe it. I couldn't do it. So you're 100% correct. That's exactly right.
That's really a great point. But especially the older the table, the more inconsistent it's going to be. The bumpers, the slingshots, the elevation of the table at that particular spot, the condition of the playfield itself. Is it old? Is it pitted? Is it smooth?
Right.
The ball is going to be different. So it's a great point.
Yeah, not to mention the fact, when you mentioned the older the table is, the older that I am, there is lag between my eyes seeing the ball and my fingers pushing the button. So it's like, there's always adjustments to do. By the time you get to, Greg remembers when pinball was just throwing rocks down a cliff and seeing if you could hit the dinosaur at the bottom of the cliff. But,
we didn't even have fire. We didn't even have fire back then.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know if those two guys that won are still, our winner is still here, but there's, just to let you know, this has been the trophy. This will be like the numbers. I'll have to look back. This is like number 6 trophy going out. So there's your little trophy. That's the first one. Trophy. First one that went out to Balls the Slapping, if you see down there. So he was, anyway, that's neat little trophy. So that's what you'll be getting. Now, it takes them forever to get them, but as soon as I get your address, I'm going to go up there. What is the? Yeah, I can go up there tomorrow. It's weekday. Yeah, Monday. What day is it? Yeah, it's Monday. I'll go up tomorrow to get it ordered.
Nice. But yeah. So anyway, didn't want to derail it. So what else? Greg, you had some questions for Ed.
I after I watched your video, I took and I'm trying to get caught up on the chat here too. My place in the wrong place. Okay. Yeah, I looked. So I went to the website and looked, and I did a search, and I it looks like it's only available through AtGames right now. Is that correct?
I believe so. That's exactly where I got it. Yeah.
And I noticed that there's about a $2,000 price tag on it if you want everything on it.
Right. The full version is about $2,000. Yeah.
Now that comes with a topper and quite a few games and some really nice artwork. Now, being somebody that built 2 machines and had to put 2 PCs in them, I will say that people say that I don't think I'm interested in one, mainly because I've got 2 home-built PCs that play all FX3 and all that, VPX and all that, Future Pinball.
Yeah.
But if I had it to do again, I'm telling you what, if you count just the parts, I bet I got more than $2,000 in each one. And then you're not figuring the fact of how much time. I mean, way I understand it, they had what, 20, 30 minutes put together time. It took me 2 months to build each one of those machines.
Yeah. I got to give At Games some love too for the ease of how it's put together, the instructions that came with it, the video that they provide showing you how to do it. It really is a piece of cake. One thing that did stand out to me putting it together, though, when you open up the back panel from the playfield box and then open up the back panel to the back glass, you have to connect the wires together. And they just seem so thin and so cheap. And I was just, because I remember the Vibs board nightmares that some people did. The Vibs board, for people that don't know, is the old HD pinball from Legends Pinball. The back glass wouldn't work when you hook it up to your computer. You had to buy a separate board, take the back off the back glass, plug it into a ribbon cable, and then run your HDMI to that board. It was a real pain in the butt. Luckily, this one doesn't have that, which is great. That said, that old HD, when people were trying to install that Vibs board, if they pulled that ribbon cable that it attached to too hard, it comes out. You're dead in the water. Done. That's it. Your back glass doesn't work anymore. And it's not something you can just plug back in and go, ooh, that was close. Nope, you're done. Which sucked. It was really poorly designed. And this one, I haven't heard any nightmares about that. But I will tell you that all the wires and the plugs were all just seemed really cheap. And I would have thought they learned from the previous experience and just created something with a little more beef to it that provided a little more confidence to folks like me putting it together. Didn't have any issues. It did work. That's fine. But why not I don't know what the different gauges are to wires. Again, I'm not that deep into tech, but they were all pretty much the smallest, thinnest wires you can imagine for that kind of stuff with little plastic plugs, which were kind of odd as well. I don't know, but just nitpicking at this point.
Proprietary plugs with the, yeah, I know the ultimate cabinet that I've got. I've pulled the trackball that came with them was known for being defective, and somebody came up with a 3D print to add to that trackball so that trackball couldn't come dislodged. Well, I started taking it apart to put those pieces in, those 3D printed pieces, and I thought, no, I'm just going to take the chance that the trackball break because, man, just thinking about unplugging all those little tiny wires, I mean, the thing worked. I thought, why should I take
Wait,
the
are
chance?
you talking about that shim kit?
Yeah.
I did the same thing. I bought that shim kit because the trackball on the Legends arcade was a little not quite as smooth as it should have, and everything I heard was the shim kit. Oh, that'll fix it. It was cheap, $20 or something.
Yeah.
But when I looked into the actual process of doing it, I was like, no, I'll just have a little wobbly trackball. I'm not messing with that.
Yeah, it's still the kit's still laying back here somewhere. I don't know.
That's pretty funny. I ran into the same thing. Chachi says we should have a drunk stream. Well, why don't you get started and let us know how it goes and we'll follow along. Poe's probably halfway there already. I don't know.
Not yet. Almost there.
But yeah, that's a problem. But you know what? That's a problem with anything nowadays. I mean, it's all gotten to be that point. But like I say, if I'd have seen this, I saw, and that's the other question I guess I had. I know you got no crystal ball, Ed, but the first Legends pinball was available at Sam's Club, and boy, if you bought it at Sam's Club, you got a little bit better price and a whole lot of extra spaz to it, or whatever, pizzazz.
Yeah, I remember that.
I'm just wondering, I'm thinking if I considered buying one, if I should wait till around Christmas time. And
that was part of it too, is why I hesitated, is because I wasn't enamored of the Addams Family cosmetics on it. Okay, the versions they came out with were Addams Family and Peanuts at the time. And I liked Peanuts. I enjoy Charlie Brown as much as anybody, but I don't know if I want a big yellow pinball machine that says Peanuts in my thing and on my shows all the time. And the Addams Family, I've never been a fan of the aesthetic of it at all. but that Attack from Mars was pretty slick looking.
I like
they
it.
told me tomorrow, though. Sorry to interrupt you, Greg, but
I'm interrupted you. Go ahead.
one of the things that got me into virtual pinball was the arcade 1-Up Star Wars pinball machine. That artwork and that skins on that, I almost bought it. That was just before I got the Legends pinball. I was on the fence, and with my luck, that'll be coming out for the At Games 4K, in the next month or two, and I'll be like, dang, I wish I waited for that one. So there's always going to be that.
The Star Trek. They got a Star Trek one.
I like the Star Trek one as well. I thought about that. That was up on my list pretty high.
If I was going to get
one,
I like the one you got, Attack from Mars, but I thought, hell, Ed's already got one of those. If I want to shoot some videos, I'll get the Star Trek one because I got to admit, Star Trek, I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, this Star Trek one looks cool, and I love Star Trek. By the way, I just released a video of my top 4 favorite Star Trek pinball machines of all time. So if you haven't been to Digital Victory's YouTube channel, check it out. Shameless plug.
Well, I want to give
them up and Ed spikes it. Nice.
I want to give a chance for our other 2 members here to talk a little bit, but we're on Poe, Mike, either one of you. That I know you play pinball right now on your PlayStations, don't you? Both of you do that? Yeah, because you guys couldn't handle getting the Xboxes. I know you just. So I understand, but I mean, is this something you guys might consider for your wheelhouse?
As soon as I watched Ed's video on it, I went straight to that website. And I'm like, yeah, and then I saw the price. And I'm like, oh man. And I saw the one that was $2,000 too. I'm like, if I'm gonna get in trouble, you might as well go all the way, right?
Well, order it for yourself and put my name on the return address and say, look what Greg sent me.
Every time I get some kind of upgrade from my arcade, I get the look. What are you doing? Where'd that come from? Bart sent it. Yeah, actually, they just came out with a replacement screen for the arcade. Really nice replacement screen so that you don't get any washout. So I'm thinking about doing that because I know you guys, I was telling you guys, I figured out that it was washed out when we were playing Elevator Action Challenge. And I'm complaining to you guys. I'm like, the colors are way off. Like the little bad guys are wearing gray instead of black and this and that. And I'm complaining about it to you guys. And then I sat down in a chair looking straight on. I'm like, the colors are just fine. It's just because I'm 6'4" looking down at this thing. So there is a new replacement screen out for the thing that I'm really thinking about buying. So that'll probably be next. Then pinball maybe down the road.
Yeah, I saw for me, when I saw your video, Ed, it got me thinking. Because I talked to the guys earlier when I had went to the pinball museum up in Hillsboro, Oregon, and I fell in love with the was it the Elvira Stern table that they had there. And I was like really contemplating because I'm still in the process of thinking of whether or not I want to get rid of 3 of my arcade machines. I also got 2 boards that are pretty rare. I know I got the Street Fighter Alpha 2 board and the Street Fighter 3 board intact, with the exception of the Street Fighter 3. The disk drive on it needs to be replaced, and then it'd be functioning, working correctly. But I know that place, they'll buy arcade machines from you. And I was actually contemplating, I'm still thinking about it, whether or not I should sell 3 of my machines with the 2 boards to them in order to put down money on an actual arcade machine. Or if they want to, I don't know if they'll do that, but cash. That way I can buy a virtual pinball table like what you got. Mm-hmm. I know there's several people online. I've seen some builds that has when you push the buttons, you can feel the ball move, and it's just virtual. It's not like an actual table or anything. I'm like, oh, I want something like that where you can feel the ball moving around, and then when the bumpers hit, you can feel the table shake. And I saw someone that built that, and it had a 4K screen with a 120 hertz monitor, so ultra smooth, right? But it's expensive. They wanted around $5,000 for that. But if I did sell some of my machines, the actual arcade machines that I have, then I might be able to get that and then play a bunch of games. I looked at their listing; they had like Elvira, Scared Stiff, the Mars one that you have, and one of the ones I wanted to get. My favorite table was Star Trek for Stern.
Yeah.
Love that table, and if I can, I don't care if I get that. I'm happy if I could just get that one game because that one I played the hell out of. But it's a bonus if I can get all the other Elvira tables. Yeah, definitely a bonus for me. So yeah, I've been thinking about it, but it's just it took me a while to get these arcade machines in my house. So I'm like, do I really want to get? I know I want to get rid of Double Dragon and Street Fighter 2. Because I want to get X-Men versus Street Fighter. I do want to exchange that for an X-Men versus Street Fighter. And then my Maximum Force, which has Area 51, I'm thinking about getting rid of that as well to get a pinball machine because I know a lot of people would play pinball at my house. Although the shooting one, that's where everybody plays. Nobody's playing Double Dragon or 1943. Everybody's gravitating towards the shooting game arcade game. But yeah, pinball tables. Yeah, I know that would attract because they're the older generations. My cousins are older. They grew up during the pinball heyday. So yeah,
same thing with my brothers and sisters. My brother and sister live nearby, and they've been over to play. They're all older than me, so they're part of that same generation that enjoyed pinball. And yeah, $14.99 for the basic machine. There's just no way I just pull out my wallet and shell out cash for that. You see the big comic book omnibus books I have. What you see in the video is probably 1/8 or 1/10 of my collection of comic book omnibuses. So I sold off a bunch of those. I sold some old camera equipment, and I haven't quite finished off selling enough stuff to pay for the whole thing, but I'm getting there. I'm a lot closer than I was. So it's not an easy, quick decision to buy one. It's a real investment, but I love mine.
Yeah.
And now I got to figure out what to do with the HD machine, though. It's sitting in the living room until I can sell it.
You can send 1805 Frontage Road, Van Horn, Texas. Are you looking? I can't see. I'm on my phone. I can't see your screen. Is he getting a pencil? Is he writing this down?
Yeah, he's writing it down.
Honestly,
you address that to the West Texas Werewolf. Was that the name? It was
AKA West Texas Werewolf. There he is. That's my man.
Hold on a second, Ed. I am actually currently in Oregon right now. I'm in, and I got a plane ticket to fly back, but I could drive down and pick it up.
Rent a U-Haul. Drive back from here.
I will rent a U-Haul and swing by on my way back to Texas. Now, but. Yeah, now that I had that question because you had two. Now you got two tables, and
I got one. I just got a big chunk of metal and wood in the other room with two screens on it. It's not even a table right now. It works, and that's fine. But selling it is not easy because it's a huge thing. It's no longer in packable shape, and that I have the boxes anymore to just disassemble it and put it back in the boxes anymore. So I figure I can only sell it in Northern California. Someone's got
you almost have to find someone relatively
someone
local
from Oregon to fly down and then rent a U-Haul and drive it away. That's another option. But
right.
So I've been so busy, and that's also why I dropped out of the pinball tournament and haven't really joined in on any of the tournaments you had, Greg. Is just been so busy, dealing with that, the setup. And here's the thing: it didn't work on the old PC either, right? So I had to get a new PC to run the 4K games with 3 screens. So I was able to get a nice open box unit from Best Buy, and that's cool. And it's kind of a beast, so that's awesome. But
nice.
Configuring a new PC and setup and installing Baller Installer and all the different headaches that come with that, because it never works smoothly. You have to tweak it and restart, et cetera, et cetera. So, but finally getting my feet under me now, and the video is going to start flowing a little more. But it looks beautiful. Man, it looks
That's
good.
something I noticed in your video too, when you were scrolling through your games. It almost looked like Pinup Popper's front end.
Isn't that interesting? Right? Definitely looked like they copied it. What's up, Intellivision Gamer?
Yeah, it looked. When I saw that, I said, "Man, is he running Pinup Popper?" Because it just looks so much like.
It's not a coincidence, huh?
Yeah. Hey, real quick, we're going to take a. If you don't mind, a 50-second break. I want to show you something I got from our arcade room. We've been bragging about Ed's new table. I want to show you this. My birthday's in a few days, 6 days. Just make a mental note of that. And Travis came over with a present for me. He says, "You got to open this now, Dad. You just got to open. He was more excited than I was. So here, let me show you this. 49 seconds. My new claw machine. Oh, so close. Let's try for this one over here. Travis got me this for my birthday. Okay. Okay. Here we go. You are peppermint patty. Oh, I hope it's. Oh God, I hope it's. There it came out. I won.
Nice.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Nice.
You should make a real game out of that and put your daily medication in there. And if you don't get it, you don't get it.
There you go. The stakes are high at the Parker house.
That music is playing, though, it lets you know when your time's about up. It starts getting faster and faster and faster, and it just locks up. And I'm telling you, it's, Travis said, "Man, I'm kind of disappointed. It's kind of hard to pick things up." I said, "It wouldn't be fun if you could just pick it up."
Yeah.
But it came
Where
with
did all the goods come from?
Well, he brought me bags of little candies that he bought from and put them in with the package when he wrapped it up. But it also comes with little tokens, and I noticed the tokens were pretty close to a quarter. So I grabbed some quarters out and started working. I said, "Oh, this is great." Because all them little bastard neighborhood kids that come by, I'm going to make a bunch of money off this thing.
I love it.
But anyway, that was
jump the gun there.
Oh, look at Gideon's going to jump the gun on everybody because he's over there. His time zone. He can wish Greg a happy birthday before the rest of us because it'll be his birthday before it is for us. Hey, a couple things really quick. I'm going to put this up there. Jesse Kitty, that's my sister-in-law, Kelly's sister, Jessica. So she's here. And I told you guys I kind of got to go. We're at a time where we have I'm still with family and we got some plans, go out and get dinner and stuff. So I'm going to have to cut out here. But I do want to tell you it's kind of a if everything goes well tomorrow, this is my final thoughts. Around 1 o'clock local time. So that would be 3 for you, Greg, 4 for you, Poe, and the East Coast. Hopefully I'll be going live.
Oh, nice.
And that's all I'm going to say. There will be some pinball involved. But yeah, so hopefully tomorrow afternoon I'll be going live for at least a short while. And there will be pinball involved in that. So if you get a chance, check that out. 1 o'clock Pacific should be about the time. So so Poe, Mike, it'll be the same time for you. So 1 o'clock Pacific, 1 o'clock Mike's time, 3 for you, Greg, 4 for Poe, and anyone else. I hope to see you there. But I'm going to have to cut out. I know eventually Poe's going to start talking a lot more, and I don't want to be here for that anyway. I didn't pay for this meeting room I'm in, and I'd hate to throw up in it and have someone have to clean it. I'd have to send Kelly down or something. But hopefully if all works out, I'll be live tomorrow. You guys have a great rest of your show. Ed, thanks for coming in. It's always nice for you to talk more than Poe and Mike. It's a good distraction from the rest of us. So you guys have a great show, and I'll catch you guys next week.
Good to see you, Bar. Have a good one. Bye, Kelly.
Yeah,
Bye, Jesse.
I'll try to. If I accidentally bump the end stream button instead of the leave studio, that would be tragic. So
I'll just throw your ass out. That's all.
All right, later, guys.
Good night.
Goodbye, Mart. Goodbye, Mart. Oh, he's gone.
Bye-bye.
Wait a second, he's back. Oh, Well, good. I don't know. I'll find something good to do at 3:00 tomorrow. Well, the only thing I've really got left to talk about is and then I'll kind of pass it around a little bit. I told y'all I had a bad dream last night, so that's all. That's all. Let's see. Let me find this. The guys dumped on me that it's time for my week to pick what was it, Poe? An arcade challenge.
I was going to ask Poe about that. Yeah.
Yeah, so it went well first. Oh, you got the results from last week's challenge?
I don't, but I lost. I know who won.
Okay.
But Balloon Fight was the challenge, and I know Mike won, and T-Dog was second, and I was third.
I got that. You want me to read the list? I can pull it.
Yes.
Way to go, Mike.
See. All right. Arcade tournament or console? Yeah, console. All right, here we go. Oh shoot! Wait. Bart put the updated one.
Fun. Well, he was looking. I'm gonna say that was a fun game. By the way, it reminded me of Joust.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I loved it, but I didn't get to play again after Tuesday. I learned that pretty quick, so it was really fun. And I do want to still do the 2-player online with you, Greg, if we get a chance at some point.
Yeah.
So.
We need to do that and record it. That sounds good.
Well, I'll start from the bottom, working my way up. But so anybody asks, technically they're not at the bottom. So if you didn't play, you got a 0. So starting with G Parker, he got 40,500. Pixel Dude or Pixeltorium, 42,800. Off Grid Arcade, 48,850. Retro Bliss Gaming, 79,600. Matt
jump.
R, 107,000. Old Poe, 134,250. T Dog, 215 and 100. And me, GRW, 235, 450.
Wow.
So
Nice
that was
job.
at, I played again like around 9 p.m. just to see if I could beat my score. And yeah, towards, what was it, 9:50, I finally beat it. And I was like, yes, because I wanted to see if I can get past 200,000, which I did. So,
Right.
but that
I think I could have if I would have played a third or fourth day, which I wanted to do. I really wanted to. I was having so much fun with that game, and a lot of times that doesn't happen during these challenges. So, and the one that Greg's going to announce, he let us know just a little bit ago. I have pretty much no experience with that arcade game. I know of it. I know the history of it. And I maybe played a minute of it on my arcade before. So this ought to be a fun challenge this week.
Yeah, never played that game before either.
Lay it on us, Greg.
Yep.
Huh?
Lay it on us. What is it?
Okay, well, yeah, you guys laid that on me to do that. And I was scrolling through them, and first thing, I found a bunch of games that were hard to just capture the score on. Because that's something I try to be aware of when I'm doing this, because people got it. And I came across this particular game, and man, it's tough. And I want to say about the last challenge. You know, when I got that score I got, I thought, man, I got it. I came in last, but I thought, and when I started seeing those scores, I thought, well, I'm not even going to try. You know how much sweat came off my forehead just trying to get that score? I'm not doing this. Put myself.
But a lot of times it's like pinball, where you might have several bad games, and then all of a sudden something happens, and you're just going.
Well, here's this week's game. The only other thing I wanted to ask our guest, Ed, is, Ed, do you got a way to play any of these? Do you got an emulator, or do you got a Raspberry Pi?
Very much so. Yeah, I have. Excuse me. I have coin ops that I can play on the PC with every system
Nice.
and yeah.
Well, here's this week's game. I actually hadn't heard of it until I just scrolled across it. And that's basically it. I just did a little short thing to show it.
Is that Spelunker?
Bagman.
Oh, I'll be damned.
So
Yeah,
how
and
do you play it?
unfortunately, my video didn't catch the name when I started my recording after the main screen came on. But,
Okay, gotcha.
How do you play it, Greg? I'm confused.
I have no. Yeah, I know that.
Like, that's why I quit. Like I would play it for a minute, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. So now I'm going to look it up and see what you need to do. I know it was popular back in the day, and that TV show Starcade, where the kids played against each other back in the '80s.
Yeah.
They played it a few times on there. That wasn't a show that I got when I was a kid, so I didn't watch it until recent years. But yeah, a lot of times I'll get ideas for games to put on my iArcade from watching that show on YouTube.
I wonder if
know
I
that-
have that on the Legends, my Legends arcade, because I have the coin ops system on there.
I do have that too.
All the arcade games, so that may be on there.
But see, I'm playing all these on that device you asked me about. I'm playing them all on the ROG Alley,
yeah.
and that's just a blast. And I can dock it and play that way. But if you ask how you play the game, as best I can tell you, we talked about Joust and the balloon thing. This has a little bit of a Donkey Kong thing to it. I mean, you're trying to climb that ladder. You pick up the bags. You can also pick up a hammer and beat the other guys up, and you can take the money and you can drop it on their heads if you get lined up right. And then there's a wagon you can get and pull, but I haven't. Every time I grab the wagon, I die. So I stay away from that wagon unless you can figure out what the hell you're supposed to do with it. But it's got neat soundtrack to it too. I don't know. It just seemed cool.
Kind of catchy.
So that's really all I got. I'm going to kind of. We talked pinball with Ed. We've talked, how the challenge came out for the pinball, and I wasn't planning on staying too late either. I knew Bart had to go. I got some stuff I got to do, but if you want, let me just, you guys, Poe or Mike, you got anything big you want to talk about, or you just want to save it for final thoughts, and we'll go right into that? You tell me what you got.
I'll save it for final thoughts.
Yeah, we can save it for fun. I have some gifts my daughter got for me, so I did bring them out here. She was on vacation with her fiance's family, and what's funny to me is they stopped at an antique shop, and she said, "Dad, I got you these antiques, and these are things that we grew up with." So, and I'm like, antiques, and you're freaking kidding me, I'm 51, so I guess. But like you have the magazines there. She got me like this extra big Incredible Hulk, and it looks like it has an interview with Lou Ferrigno in it.
Yes.
And Lou Ferrigno,
Awesome.
love him. Cracked magazine, the Star Wars one. I had this one as a kid, but all of my Cracked and Mad magazines and Nintendo Powers got lost along with my action figures when we moved here in 2009. The only thing I have is I do have every single comic book that I ever bought. They were in a separate trunk, so I still have those.
God.
And then this was the Mad magazine, and this was well after I stopped collecting them. This was 96, so I was already in the military. But I just think it's funny that 1996 is considered an antique. And then I never heard of this magazine before called Creepy. That was popular in the 70s. Through the 80s, I looked it up, and then they came back again in 2009 and then went out of business again in like 2016. But never heard of this one before.
Cool
So
art, though. Look at that.
yeah, I'm gonna pop this thing open and read it. You can see, looks
That's
like you're pulling the poor guy's intestines out and everything. So
And
Did you have
a
a mag-
next to the bathroom? You read good reading material there.
yeah,
What number was that Mad magazine? Show that one again.
number 350. This was 96. So, like I said, I was already in the Air Force. I wasn't picking these up anymore at that point. My very first Mad magazine was Pac-Man on the cover, and Mad made the cover look like Time magazine, and it said Man of the Year instead of Alfred E. Newman, which he was always on all of them. They had Pac-Man on the front of there, and I remember getting that at the store. Both me and my brother, that's 2 years older than me, we always wanted the same thing. So if my mom was feeling generous, she would buy us two of the same thing so that we wouldn't get into fights. So we both had that magazine back then, and I'm so sad that I lost all that stuff in the move. But I need to see if I can find that issue again and buy it.
I don't know if I had it, but I remember the first Mad magazine that the oldest one I can remember. I think my cousin probably had it. Was the Jaws.
Oh, the Jaws.
Parody in there. Those were always so clever and so fun.
Yeah, out the road from my house, it was a junkyard when I was growing up, and my buddy lived right next door to it, and they were doing a yard sale one time when we were kids, and they had the older issues from the 70s and stuff, and my buddy bought a bunch of them off of those guys for like $1/4 each back then. So
Yeah.
it was pretty. Well, the other two things she got me were these Star Wars figures, which I had these as kids too. Of course, I think I had 2 Lukes.
Wow, those are awesome.
Yeah, my sister had Leia, but eventually it became mine because I collected all the Star Wars stuff. So she found these in the same antique store and picked these up for me too.
That's
So,
fantastic.
yeah, so
Love those.
I used to have a ton of them. Now these are the only 2 Kenner Star Wars figures I own. So
Right?
Yeah, I wonder how they numbered those. Because I showed this earlier, but I don't think we had as many people in. This is dated April 2024, and it's issue. It says number 36. But this,
Right.
this is my recent one that I just picked up
Oh.
with Travis Kelce.
you can see even this one from October '96 was pretty thin. They were getting a good bit thinner already in the '90s. It looks like, but they used to do their special editions too that were huge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The Mad fold-in was always fun. I remember. I think it was they were the best. You know, you fold the back and I think it was a Cracked magazine back in the day that had caricatures of a bunch of old stars from the popular shows. They had the Fawns, they had Hawkeye Pierce, and you could flip the page. Yeah, right. And you had to cut the pages. I think it was into 3 with scissors, and then you could flip it and change their eyes and their hairstyle. So you had the Fawns, but he had Hawkeye's mouth and stuff like
I dig that.
We were talking about pinball earlier. One of the things I liked about Mad Magazine is, you can get a Spy versus Spy VPX table.
Oh, nice! I'd love to see that. I would love to see it. Mike and I both like playing Spy versus Spy video games. So
Yep.
Remember, I had it on the Atari 800 XL.
oh, what a fun game!
Gosh, memories.
I'll have to check and make sure I'm right on that, but I'm pretty sure my original machine has a Spy versus Spy on it.
And that was another thing that I loved about Mad Magazine was Spy versus Spy. Reading those all the time.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Oh, those are great. That reminds me. I recently I talked about being busy lately. Well, part of it was I'm in the home office right now where I work and have my computer here. The other night last week, Tracy and I smelled something kind of burning, and I realized it was the computer. So shut it all down. Opened it up later after I cooled it off, and the fans were shot. They didn't turn. They're completely, it's really dusty in the corner there. Terrible on my part to let a computer get to that stage. But it's probably 9 years old and showing its age just a little bit. So I took it to a computer repair place here in Sacramento. Again, I'm not a tech guy, so I know you guys are probably laughing at me. Oh, you could just buy this and fix it yourself. Well, that's not me. So I took it in there, and it was so cool. They had a wall of old equipment, and I wish I was thinking ahead. I would have uploaded it here to look at. But they had all the old Atari 800 XLs. They had Commodores, a Spectrum, the Commodore PET computer. They had the, what was it? The
Sinclair? Do they have a Sinclair?
Yes, the Sinclair. Which was my first computer I ever got was a Timex Sinclair 1000, which had 2K of memory.
Yeah.
But of course, I'm a big baller, so I had the 16K expansion pack.
Did they have the Apple?
And they had that there. They had all these old systems, the Ataris and Commodores, and wow, the nostalgia was so rich, man.
Did they have any Apple IIs over there?
Yes, they had Apple II. They might have had an old Mac, now that I think about it as well.
Oh, nice.
It's really cool. Really cool. And they're all kids working there. And I was just like drooling over all this stuff, fawning over it. And they were just like, yeah, that's just old stuff. I have no idea.
Why are you looking at that?
Right? Exactly. They had, I was so excited talking about it. And they're just like, I don't know.
Derek, I'll check that. I see Bart left. I forgot he handles the chat, and I neglected that. But yeah, I'll see. I'm just sure I've got that on there. I know I've seen it, so I'll have to check both machines. But I know that I could swear because Ed, have you ever seen that Spy versus Spy table?
No, it doesn't ring any bells, but it sounds really cool, and I would dig it. I'm doing my search right now on my
I hope I didn't misspeak. I'm gonna go when I get
3
out done.
sites that I go to for tables, so I'll know in just a minute. VP Universe, vpforums.org, and Pinball Nirvana.
Right. Well, he's looking at that. Let's see what else we got here. Derek goes, I found a Mad Mag, Big Book Spy versus Spy. Yep. I'll tell you what, some of that stuff, it's just, magazines. My brother-in-law that's what he did for a career. He was a magazine distributor. He worked for the publishers distributing the magazines. He went into the stores and convinced them to put their magazine in there. And of course,
take out the old ones.
Yeah, and he's retired. And it's just magazine industry with the internet. I know. Hey, you can't find a decent Playboy magazine anymore. I don't think they're printing.
Well, I'll be damned. There it is. Spy versus Spy. It is a future pinball table.
Future, that's right. It is a future pinball.
It's future. It looks pretty good.
Yeah, I knew I had it.
Nice.
Down there.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll do a video. Maybe I'll do a video on that for the channel. I'll look into doing a video. Well, anyway, with that being said, yeah, Mike,
Hey, Greg,
go ahead.
can you highlight Cannabis's kids comment? I can't see the whole thing.
This the one?
Oh, there we
Right
go.
there?
Yeah.
Black versus white versus female.
Yeah, I
What
don't know
show?
the other ones. I know the Spy versus Spy.
I think there's even
episodes. These were episodes. Okay, I got it.
Oh, on Mad TV?
Yeah, I'm
Cool.
thinking Mad TV. Yeah. I have to check those out, Cannabis Kid. I love watching Mad TV too.
I have the board game, Mad Magazine board game.
I had
Wow.
that too. Yeah, I owned that before.
Yeah, when we were kids, it was my 5th grade teacher, I think, had it. So on rainy days, we would play that, and it was like Monopoly, except
Yep.
you were supposed to lose all your money. And I loved Mad Magazine so much. And he ended up giving away a bunch of games at the end of that year. I don't know if he was retiring, and I didn't get it. Somebody else got it. So I'm talking about this board game probably about 6 years ago at work. And one guy's there. He's like, I still have mine from when I was a kid. He said, I haven't opened a thing for probably 40 years. Do you want it?
Wow.
I'm like, oh my God. So he brought it in, and it was just perfect condition. I have it now. And since he was big into Robotech, I had some old Robotech comic books. He's still a huge fan of that. So I brought him one of my old comic books from back then. And he actually framed the thing and put it up in his game room and everything. So it was a nice trade.
Yeah, I was into reading the Robotech books back then as a middle schooler.
Yeah. Me and my buddy, my best friend, we
There
would
you
go home to watch the cartoon and everything, and I was buying the comic books.
Can you guys see that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's nice.
That's
Yep,
a good
that's
looking
one I
table.
got.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's future pinball, but I don't do future pinball.
Well, see, I've heard I couldn't get Future Pinball to load on Popper, but I got it to load on Pinball Emporium, and it seems
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So, but of course, you can always play it standalone. That's something I always said to people that are concerned about getting these front ends to work. I think that's what Bart's done. Bart's just got to where he clicks on the game in his File Explorer, and it knows which one of the versions, because you got different versions. He's got them associated with the different versions, and they no need. Everybody gets hung up on those front ends, which I like them, but
Yeah, and as you know, and I agree, by the way, Derek, 100%, I'm with you on that. Future pinball, it's amazing, but the best tables for Future Pinball are all from Terry Red, and they're spectacular. You know, Death
Yeah.
Star Assault, Jaws Bigger Boat Edition, etc. But he literally includes like PDF manuals on how to install it, what you need to download to use it, and I just don't have the energy or time to do that.
All right.
For the DPX table, I just download the table and back glass and throw it on and play. So it's the trade-off, you know. That said, Greg, about front end systems,
Yeah.
I started out like you with Pinball Emporium because
Yeah.
it worked. I saw a video, and it was kind of my introduction to virtual pinball on the PC. Video said, "Here's the link. It includes 100 tables or whatever. Here's a link on how to install it," and it worked, and it was cool. But I get their people's opposition to that, and no problem. That's a rabbit hole we don't need to go down right now. So just the fact that it was a dead product anyway, it wasn't any longer being serviced or updated or supported. I just went with what you said, what Bart does. I just would I would double click on VPX and load the table and play it. And then I would start my camera and do my videos, and each table I would just load individually. I didn't have a front end for years now. That said, having installed Baller Installer, it is really nice. It's fantastic in the way it does a really good job of installing all the different components, and I have nothing but great things to say about that.
You know, I'm just kind of making a joke. The guy that did Pinball Emporium, I communicated with him a few times. He was a very nice guy. Matter of fact, one time it was just so stupid I didn't know it. Again, not being the techie, you know, I didn't realize you can pick which screen you want to be your back glass, but I didn't realize that in Windows you could also. I was only getting half the screen where you had to drag and drop the screen where it was either even with the other, and it was that simple. But the one thing
all the way across, the tops of each of them. Mm-hmm.
But I'm just making a joke here. But I think he was a single guy, as I remember it, and I think on one of his forums or one place he posted he was getting married, and that's when I noticed. So that shows you what a woman can do to you. You know what I mean? He's like,
that's why he stopped supporting Pinball Emporium.
Yeah.
He's busy.
So I don't know if that's the reason, but anyway, sounds good. Hey, I think it's almost 7:30. I'm going to let Mike start. I'm going to start with Mike. I'm going to jump up to Poe. I'm going to let our guest talk, and then I'm going to give a wrap up, and we'll get out of here. So, Mike, it's all yours, sir.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So, yeah, I've been working on my last video, so yeah, I'm still working on it. Before I can release it, just, be patient. It'll be released here soon. And then I do have another, it'll be a modern game video, and then I'll go back to retro. So that's all I got. Yeah, just going to let you guys know that I'm still working on that new video.
Nice.
Sounds good. Okay, now Bart usually does this. How the hell do I do this? Okay, there. Okay, I thought I'd try to add some fancy flair to it. What do you got, Poe? You got
good? No. I'll probably do the challenge this week. I don't know what else I'll do aside from that. I've been meaning to work on that Mario Brothers video, but that just hasn't happened. So we'll see. Probably just the challenge video. We'll try some Bagman and see how that goes.
You gonna record yourself playing it?
Yes.
Right on.
We'll do.
I see now why Retro Bliss likes having you on, because you're a handsome son of a gun. You know that? Look at that.
Papa.
You look marvelous.
Marvelous. Amazing some of the things that caught on back in the 80s, like how that just blew up and they just kept going with it, He even had a song. Now I'm thinking about it. I totally forgot about that.
Wow, I forgot about that.
Yeah, they played it on the radio. Wow.
Well, Ed, I'll give you a chance to play
Greg,
some
I've been
final
flapping my gums this whole time. I'm talked out. Appreciate the invite, though. Thank you very much for bringing me on. I had a good time.
Yeah, and if you haven't noticed, Ed's about half the man he used to be.
Yeah. 90% of what I used to be, or 80% for sure.
Shows you what a good workout routine and the difference between eating right and not eating right.
That's what fixed it.
Yeah. Well, I will just say that, we've had a fun time with these challenges. We got one going this week. Congratulations to the pinball winners. You mentioned in the scoring for last week that Retro Bliss did a pretty good job in scoring up there high, and I want to thank him because if you watch him during the day, sometimes you'll catch him actually featuring our challenge.
Right.
So him and Mike is a
True.
gaming guy. So I want to thank those two guys for doing that. And they had me as a guest on their show a couple of weeks ago. They haven't asked me back, so that tells me where I stand. But
I think they actually, they have a pretty full schedule for this month, I think, and I'm not sure after that what they're going to be up to. So this month, I think they have everything kind of
right, yeah,
already set.
they're a little more organized than we are, I think, which sets us apart. So that's all I've got. Hey, I want to thank everybody. Let me, again, Bart's not here to help me, so I got to find an exit. And we will. I got to figure out how to get you and Poe into the Mike.
What do you think? What do you think the Williams tables will be? I don't know if we talked about that, but they talked about FX said that there's going to be 3. Or maybe we did talk about it last week.
No, you know what? I did see that, and I don't know, but they did say that for sure.
Yeah, I think they said 1 from 1988 and 2 from 1989 or something like that.
Yeah, there's so many.
God, that was the heyday.
And
I don't know.
Somebody's got to come up with a new ending. I mean, this is.
I can work on one that's gonna be lots of copyright strikes on our channel.
Nice.
No worries, I got you, Greg.
It's not like any of us are making big money off this thing. I mean, good grief, Greg. I got to delete some of this.